It starts with a swipe.
Online dating is actually the most popular way for Australians to meet new people and to form new relationships.
Your Tinder date left before you woke up.
But these services have also been used to cause harm.
Here's how I keep things sexy on Bumble.
Sexual harassment, abusive and threatening language, unsolicited sexual images, and violence facilitated by these platforms.
As more than 3 million of us swipe right on each other, the government's swiping left on unsafe online dating. The industry has until mid-2024 to develop a voluntary code of practice to keep Aussies safe. The stats are shocking. 3/4 of users have been victims of sexual violence or harassment at the hands of someone they met online in the past 5 years.
This has been a long time coming. You know, this is a $43 billion industry that has, free rein to do whatever it likes, and the safety of people using apps needs to be considered.
The harms range from receiving unwanted contact or images, the equivalent of flashing in the offline environment, to really threatening or stalking communication.
The government wants commitments to better engage with police, support users, improve safety measures and be more transparent about potential harms.
There could be clearer communication around how to be seen by the people you want to be seen by and not be seen by the people you don't want to be seen by.
An ID check is the place to start. Also, as I said, having some actual rules and regulations for the users that need to be enforceable across the industry.
So will a voluntary code keep singles safe in this perilous age of online dating?
My message to industry, they have a role to play in identifying bad behaviour, to identify whether any of that behaviour actually crosses legal lines. And if we are going to end violence against women and children in one generation, then we need to address this on online dating apps.
Saxon Mullins is with an organisation called Rape and Sexual Assault Research and Advocacy, and she's here to help us dig into this issue. Saxon, voluntary codes don't have a good track record, let's put it that way. Is this one going to do anything?
Look, I think there is some appetite with the dating apps to fix this issue, and it's really in their best interest to do so. I think if you think of any other app, if they had as bad a record as 3 out of 4 people having a horrible experience on them, they would change it in an instant. So I think they really do have the appetite to change this. So I think we want to start with working with the apps and giving them that opportunity to fix these errors and fix these mistakes and make sure people have a good time on their platforms.
There is a time lag when you do it this way, though, isn't there? I mean, we're talking about until middle of next year to see whether or not the companies come up with a scheme, and then that'll be reviewed about 9 months after that. And so, I mean, why wouldn't the government just go straight to regulation now?
I think the government is wary of the idea that they're getting into people's personal business. You don't want the government deciding who you swipe left or right on. But you're right, the timeline, it's too long. We leave this days and people get sexually assaulted. We leave this months and weeks and years, and what else could happen?
One suggestion, Saxon, is to ID check users. Do you think that could be the answer?
Part of the problem is that people feel emboldened by the anonymity that is granted by these apps. Even if it's not a real anonymity, they could use their right first name and their right picture, but they feel like they have this distance from their real selves. So having an ID check and making sure that we have secure pathways to verify people's identity will make people feel safer and will sort of disincentivise people to maybe behave badly.
Why do people behave badly on dating apps, given that the whole point of them is that people are seeking intimacy or a hookup or some kind of connection? Why is this terrible behaviour considered to be normal online?
I think what dating apps do and social media does in general is it just enhances things we already have. So if you already have negative views about women, if you already hold negative views about sex and sexual relationships, going on a dating app is only going to enhance that. Having anonymity or having any kind of separation between face-to-face interactions is going to embolden that behaviour. And so, you know, it's one thing to work with these apps and make sure they make these differences, which is so important. But what's really important is we need to change our culture around violence against women, around our attitudes against women, because that's where it really stems from.
Saxon, I'm from the olden days when we'd meet potential suitors in bars. And I can tell you, some of them were pretty badly behaved back then as well. But listen, if you were the government and you had a magic wand, how would you change bad behaviour on dating apps?
There are so many things that you would want to do if you could just change it with the click of a button. You know, I think one of those is if you send an abusive message, or if you send an unwanted picture, or if you do any of the, you know, horrible things that we've heard about going on in these apps, that's immediately public. Everybody you know will know exactly what you said, will know exactly what you did, will know exactly what happened. So I think, you know, blasting that online, I don't know that the government wants to get into the business of public shaming, but I have no qualms.
Right. Saxon's political platform is public shaming. Excellent.
Blasting.
Blasting, I think, it's the blast party. Excellent. That could mean anything.
Yeah.
I'll leave it there. We'll see what the industry comes up with, Saxon. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks so much.